So first of all, I would like to explain what is Tech Nexus event is. So Tech Nexus is an event which is organized by Mindbowser, typically held monthly at the end of each month. So during this event, the team shares new learnings and various topics across the different tech stacks. So all the updates of the Tech Nexus event will be posted on LinkedIn. So I would like to tell that you can stay informed on the LinkedIn itself. So yeah, let's move forward. So in this presentation, we will explore Prisma, a next generation ORM that simplifies interactions between applications and relational databases. So we will deep dive into Prisma's core features, how they work, and how they empower developers to build data-driven applications with greater efficiency. So before moving forward, I would like to ask some question that does anyone know what is ORM and why it's used? So you can drop your answers in the Q&A section. Yeah, Prem Kumar has answered. Yes, correct. Object relation mapping. So do you know why we use that? Why we use ORM? Correct. Uh, so have you ever used Prisma? Has anyone ever used Prisma before? Correct, correct, friend. Using built-in methods, correct. So has anyone used Prisma before? Yeah, sure. So yeah, so if you have no experience with ORM or Prisma, so no worries. We will cover everything from the basic. So first of all, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Sanket Khadekar. I'm an associate software engineer and a merge stack developer. With me, I have Rohan Kadam. Rohan, can you please introduce?
Yes, good evening, guys. My name is Rohan Kadam, and I'm currently working as an associate software engineer at Mindbowser, and I'm also co-host for this Prisma learning. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So these are the topics which we will cover in the this presentation. So we will first of all see what are ORMs and their benefits. Next, we will see what is Prisma. Why would we use Prisma? Then we have prerequisites and installation. So we will see how what are the prerequisites before using Prisma, and we will see how we have installed how we can install Prisma. Next, we will see the core features of Prisma. Then we have step-by-step demo, which will be covered by Rohan. Next, we have benefits of using Prisma, and last, then we will compare Prisma with other popular ORMs, and lastly, we have a Q&A section and a conclusion. So yeah, let's move forward. So basically, what are ORMs and their benefits? So ORM basically is a bridge that gaps between the gap between object oriented programming and relational database. So they streamline the development by automating repetitive tasks, promoting the clean and secure code. And it offers the flexibility when working with different databases. Consider incorporating ORMs. So we should consider incorporating ORMs into our projects for more efficient development experience. So the benefit, these are the some of the benefits of or using ORMs, that it will increase the productivity. So it will basically automate the SQL queries, and it will also do the DB connections. Next, it will it because of it, we would have an improved code quality. So it promotes high level of construct and data integrity. Next, data abstraction. So it enables switching databases with minimal code changes. Enhanced security. So it helps us to prevent SQL injection attacks. So which are major attacks. Next, what is Prisma? So this is the major concept. So Prisma is basically an open source object relational mapping (ORM) designed to simplify interaction between Node.js and TypeScript. So it is designed to interact between our Node.js application and the relational databases like MySQL, PostgreSQL, and many more. So it offers a comprehensive suite of features, including Prisma schema for defining data models, typeset Prisma client for interacting with the database, then Prisma migrate for effortless database schema migration, and an optional Prisma Studio for locally running the GUI for then data visualization and management. By leveraging these Prisma core concepts and features, uh, you as a developer can experience increased productivity, improved code quality, and other things. So this is what Prisma is. So these are these are some of the things. It's an open source, so everyone can use it in a free way. Next, we have an intuitive schema definition. So what it does, that Prisma allows you to define your database schema in a way that reflects how you think about your data. Instead of writing the complex SQL queries, you can use intuitive constructions that resembles real world entity and their thought and their relationship. Next, we have types of database interaction. So Prisma integrates seamlessly with popular DB types schemas like MySQL and other. And it also has it basically promotes to us to use TypeScript. So when you define your data model in Prisma schema, it automatically generates your type definition for your database tables. So these types represent the structure of your data, including fields, name, and their data types. So example, data types may be string, number, boolean, etc. So next is effortless data migration. This is the core concept, and this is the best what I know. So Prisma makes database migration, which updates your database schema a more effortless process. So this is what Prisma is, and these are some of the core features of it. So yeah, everyone with me till here? Thank you. So yeah, let's move forward. So these are the popular databases that are supported by Prisma: Postgres, MongoDB, MySQL, MariaDB, SQLite. There are some of the databases, cloud databases, which are also supported on the by the Prisma, which are mentioned on their in their docs. Next, talk to your database using database drivers. So one of Prisma client's component is query engine. So the query engine is responsible for transforming your Prisma client queries to SQL statement. The query engine connects your database via TCP using built-in drivers that don't require additional setup. So Prisma client can connect and run queries against your database using JavaScript database driver using driver adapters. So what are driver adapters? So adapters acts as in translators between Prisma client and the JavaScript database driver. So Prisma client will use the query engine to transform the query to SQL and then run the generated SQL queries via the JavaScript database driver. So this is how your query will get updated, and we will receive or do the CRUD operations. Next, we have prerequisites. So before starting with Prisma, we should know some of the concepts. So basically, we should know what is JavaScript. We should know how it works. Next, next we have TypeScript, which it's not compulsory, but Prisma recommends us to use TypeScript because they also use it. And then lastly, we have Node.js. We should know how Node.js work and how to write APIs in Node.js. So these are some of the prerequisites which are required before which are required before using Prisma. Next, installation. So before using Prisma, we should basically have the Node.js inside your system. So it should be installed from official Node.js website, and its version should be before 14 or after 14 or later. Next, after installing Node.js, we should basically create an open directory and initialize an Node.js or Express.js project. And after that, we need to install TypeScript and initialize the TypeScript in it. So after setting up whole your Node.js and Express application, then we should install the Prisma. So for that, we have a command of npm install Prisma --save dev. So it will install your Prisma client inside your project. After that, we should implement the command npx Prisma in it. So after hitting this command, we will have an additional folders and files which will be initialized by Prisma for us to connect with the DB, etc. So this was a simple installation process of the Prisma. Next, core features of Prisma. So these are some of the core features of Prisma. So first of all, we have Prisma CLI. So Prisma CLI is a command line tool that provides a convenient way to interact with Prisma and manage your database schema. So it offers a wide range of commands that can be used to perform various tasks, such as creating a new Prisma project, initializing a database, generating a client library, then migrating your schema. The Prisma CLI is an essential tool for any developer who is working with Prisma. So this is what Prisma CLI is. Next, we have Prisma Migrate. Prisma Migrate is basically a tool included in Prisma that helps you manage schema changes in your database over time. So it allows you to evolve your data schema in a safe and controlled way, ensuring your database is always up to date and with your with your application needs. Next, we have field modifiers. This is the basic concept of Prisma. So Prisma field modifiers are directives that enhance your behavior of specific fields within your data model. They allow you to define additional characteristic beyond your basic data types. So it why should we use field modifiers to enforce? We should use field modifiers to enforce the data validation, then to optimize your performance and control the relationships. So don't worry if you don't understand what are these concepts. They all these concepts will be covered from basic in our step-by-step demo. So some of the field modifiers are at their default to assign a default value to a field during creation for the explicitly field. And at the rate unique is one of the field modifiers that ensures no duplicate value exists for the field across all records. So next we have model attributes. Model attributes is a Prisma. Model attribute in Prisma defines the property of your data, like name, email, or creation date, etc. So they consist of a field name, a data type like string, int, etc. An optional modifier for other things like uniqueness and or defaults. So these attributes map to your columns in your database table. So these are model attributes. Next, we have block level modifiers. So while field level modifier attributes define individual properties, Prisma offers the block level modifiers for broader data constraint. These modifiers are prefixed with double at the rate. So to apply to a group of fields and influence how your database is stored and accessed. They particularly are used for unique constraint and composite IDs. So these were some of the core features which will also be covered in step-by-step demo in by Rohan. So yeah, next we have step-by-step demo. So yeah, Rohan, please continue with it.
Yes, yes. I will just quickly share my screen. I hope my screen is visible to all. Okay. So before moving forward the demo, firstly I would like to explain the project setup here. So this is a simple Node TypeScript setup. So as you can see, I've installed a few packages that we will be required in the demo. So first one is the types for the node. Then we have node package to restart our server after every file save. Then we have Prisma. So this Prisma package is required because we have to use the Prisma CLI, and the Prisma CLI comes with this package. So you need to install this as a dev dependency. Then we have TS node package to compile using node. Then we have TypeScript itself to write the TypeScript inside our node project. And we have one more dependency, which is Prisma client. So the Prisma client is basically where you will import this Prisma client inside your application and run the queries on the database. And I have one script written here, which is dev to restart or run the node project. So this is the simple node project here, node setup here. So in order to initialize Prisma in your project, you need to run a command. So the command goes like this: npx prisma init --data source -provider. So this is the command that you will need to run before using the Prisma, because you need to initialize Prisma in your project. So here --data source means that you need to provide your database name. So for this example, I'm going to use the Postgres SQL database. So you can add any database you would like, which is supported by the Prisma, and make sure that you have this flag here, or else it will not take the data source provider. So I'm not going to run this command because I've already set up the Prisma inside my Node project. So once you run this command, so Prisma will initialize, Prisma CLI will initialize the Prisma in your Node project. So after running this command, Prisma will create some boilerplate code and also add some files to your Node projects. The first one is the .env file. So this file is created by the Prisma itself. Here you can see there is a database URL key. So this will be used by the Prisma whenever Prisma tries to connect with your database. So you need to have the database URL, and this is predefined by the Prisma. You need to add your database URL here. Then next is the Prisma folder here. It is created by the Prisma CLI. Inside this, you will see the migration folder where all of your migration files will be stored. So I'll be talking about the migrations in a bit. And next one is the schema.prisma file. So this is the most important file for the Prisma. So in this file, you will be defining all your database schemas, enums, etc. And that all of these schemas will be picked by your Prisma whenever you hit the npx Prisma migrate command. So let's talk about this schema.prisma file first. So here I would like to talk about two important things, which one is the client and second one is the data source. So the way Prisma works is, so you write your schema inside this file and you hit the npx Prisma migrate command. It will update your Prisma client JS file inside your Node package, and you can simply import this file in your application, in your Node application, and you can run the queries. So the data source is nothing but your database. So for I hope you remember that I have shown the data source command just a few minutes ago. So whatever database you provide inside the data source provider, that will be picked by the Prisma, and this database URL will be picked by Prisma from the .env file. So you need to make sure that you have a database URL inside this .env file. So let's start with the schema building here. So I will try to explain how we can develop or build the schema inside your schema.prisma file. So in order to build your schema inside this, so you need to write the keyword which is model. So this is a predefined keyword for the Prisma, so that Prisma knows that this is a model for your database. So let's create a user table, and the Prisma has already started complaining that this table does not have any field. So we need to add a field here. We can add an ID here, which will be of type string. And we can, so I would like to talk about the field attributes here. So there are few field attributes that comes with the Prisma. The first one being is the @ID. So this @ID tells Prisma that this is an ID field, which should be an unique, and it should be identified as a primary key. So when you can add an ID string, which is of type ID, and another field attribute is default. So let's suppose you are adding a field where you need to define a default value to your fields or the columns. So you can use this @default, and you can provide whatever value you want to insert in your fields as a default value. And for this example, I want a default value as a UUID. So there are few options that comes with IDs, which is UUID. Then we have CUID. So you can use both of them. So for this example, I'm going to use as a UUID. So what will happen is whenever I try to insert a user, so it will automatically insert an ID, which is an unique of type UUID. So let's talk about some of them. Let's define some more fields here. So I would like to define an email string here. So what I want to do is I want to mark this for column or field as a unique. So whenever an user is inserted in the database, it should have an email which is unique. So I can just simply mark this as a unique. Then I can insert a new field which is of type string. Then I want to define a role here, and I want to define this role as an enum. So how we can define enums in the Prisma? So it is simple. You can just use the enum keyword, and you can just define the role. And I want to define roles as admin and user. So what I'm trying to say is this user will have a role which will be of type enum, which is role. I want to pass a default value which is user. So every time I insert a user in the DB, so the role will be automatically default to the user, unless I explicitly provide an admin role here. So now let's understand how we can build a relationship between different tables and schema inside the Prisma. So let's have a post table here. So what I'm trying to do is to achieve an relationship, and I'm just creating a table, and the scenario is that the user could have multiple posts. So I'm trying to build a relationship between user and post, which is one to many. So let's insert an ID here, which will be default to an UUID, and a post table should have a title, which will be of type string. And every time the post is inserted by the user, I want to have an created at date. There is one data type that comes with Prisma, which is date and time. You can use date and time for every date field. And I want to default it to now. So what I mean by now is every time the post is inserted, it will take the default timestamp when it was inserted. Also, let's have a updated at field. So every time this post record is updated, every time I update this post with this ID, it will automatically update the updated field as well. So now let's create a relationship between the user and the post. So the way you create is so what I want to have that every post table should have an ID here. So what I am doing is I'm just writing an author or user ID here. And I'm giving a type of this user. So just observe when I hit the control S here, when I try to save this file, Prisma will automatically try to build a relationship between the user and the post table. So here you can see that the relationship between user and the post table has been established. So whenever I try to insert a post, I need to provide an user ID here so that it will get linked to the user. So every post should have an user ID so that it could be mapped with each other. So this is almost everything that you will need while defining the schema inside the Prisma. So one thing I'd like to talk about is the block level elements here. So block level modifies the way you add the block level modifiers inside the Prisma is using the double symbols. So let's suppose you want to add an indexing to your user model here. And so I hope most of you all aware of what indexing is in the database. So basically indexing will help you to query the database in a faster way. And it is efficient, and it is a most efficient way to retrieve the data from your database. So the way you add indexes inside your Prisma schema is using the double symbol. So I want to have an indexing for this user table, and I want to add an indexing to the ID field. So these are the block level modifiers. So if you want to add a block level modifiers, this is how you add it. So you need to use a double symbol here. And to add a field modifier, you need to add a single @. So this is all about the schema development here, or the schema how we can define schema inside the Prisma. So I've already have an example ready. So we will be using that. It is similar to what we have seen, which is user and the post. everything is ready now. You have created your schema according to the database that you would like. So I will show you the database quickly. So I have a database created inside my PG admin, which is the Prisma demo, and I would want to create tables inside this Prisma demo. So as you can see, there are no tables present here. Why? Because I have not ran the npx migrate command. So in order to create these tables inside your Postgres DB, you need to run the npx prisma migrate dev double hyphen name, and this double hyphen name means you need to provide the name for your migration file. So I'm just creating the tables inside my database, so I'm naming it as a tables created. So once you hit this command, so what Prisma will try to do is it will try to create the migration file for you, and it will run all the queries generated by the migration against your database. So in this case, it will try to create the tables inside our PG admin. Let's wait for some time. Okay, so the migration was successful. If I show you inside the migration file, in migration folder, there is one file created, which has a name as tables created, which I have given at the time of running the migration command. So if you open this file, there are a bunch of SQL queries written inside this. These are nothing but the create table queries that will be ran against your database using Prisma. And if we go inside the PG admin and let's try to refresh. So as you can see, there are two tables created, which first one is the post. And the second one is user. The fields are same, and the fields were picked up by Prisma from the schema.prisma file. So that's done. So let's quickly try to run some queries against our database. I have created an index.ts file, and I've written some boiler code here. So there is nothing new. I'm just trying to import the Prisma client, and I've created an instance of the Prisma client here, where we'll be using this instance to run the queries. So let's try to create let's basically try to create a CRUD operations here. So let's first insert a record inside our user table. So we need to use the Prisma instance here, which we imported above. So there are two options for creating a table records inside your database. You can use create or create many. So basically, create will help you to create a record inside in your database, which will be only single, and create many will help you to create a multiple records inside your database. Let's see the create function here. So the create function takes an object which requires a data property and which is also object here. If you try to see here, the data field requires an email, name, and ID and post and role. So these are the optional fields that we can provide, or if we don't, we can skip it, or else we have to provide the email and name. So let's quickly add some dummy data inside our database. And let's store this result in a variable so that we can see if the query was successful. Let's start our node server here. So I have written a script which is npm run dev. So it will start the node server and it will run this query. Let's wait for a few seconds. So as you can see, the Prisma client has inserted an record inside our user table successfully, and it has returned the whole object which was inserted inside our database. So I hope you remember that we have provided a default value for the user. So that's why it has picked a user value as a default. So let's try to use a create many function to insert multiple posts. So create many function takes array. So for the data for single create, it was taking only one object. For the multiple create, it will take an array. Let's duplicate this. I'm just trying to insert a dummy data inside our database. Let's save and see the result. So as you can see, the create many method has returned a count of 2. So this count indicates that the 2 records were successfully inserted in our database. If we quickly go to the user table here. So as you can see, 3 records were inserted inside our user table. One thing I want to show is if we try to insert a email ID which is already present, so the Prisma will throw an error. So let's see. So this email ID is already present. So as you can see, that Prisma has thrown an error which is unique constraint failed on the field email, because we are trying to insert an email which is already present in our database. So this is how you can create or insert records in your database using Prisma. Now let's quickly insert some posts as well, so that we could have a relationship between the post and the user table. So I'm going to use the create many function. So the post table requires a title and an author ID. So author ID is nothing but the user ID that is going to link. Let's quickly copy it from the database. Let's save and see the results. So as you can see, the create many has returned a count of 1 because we have inserted only one post. And if we go inside our DB, there will be a connection between the user table and the post table. the author ID is nothing but the ID of the user one. So they are linked together because we have relationship between them, which is one to many, which we have defined in our schema. This is how you can create or insert in your database, which has a relationship between the multiple tables. So let's quickly see how we can retrieve our data from our database. So as we have seen that how we can insert it. So let's quickly see how we can retrieve it. So there is one method that we can use for retrieving the data, which is find many. So you can use find many method to retrieve all of your data from your database. Let's just save and see the results. As you can see, the find many has returned all of the data that was present in our database. So additional thing I want to talk about is, let's suppose the database, the Prisma is returning the whole object, but you are not interested in the whole object. You are only interested in the email field for all the records. So additionally, you can provide a select query here. So you can pass that I want only the emails. So you can explicitly pass an email to field here for the select. So it will return only the email instead of returning the whole object. Let's quickly save and see the result. So as you can see that the find many has returned all the records, but only the email field. So this is one of the feature that you can make use of using Prisma. So the read operation is done. So let's try to update a particular field inside our database. So in order to update a field inside our database, you can use Prisma update. So let's try to update a post table, and you can use the update function here. So there are two functions that comes with the Prisma, which is update and update menu. And these both of them are similar to what we have seen before for create and create menu. So what I'm trying to do is I want to update a title. So I have one record inside my post table. So what I want to do is I want to update the title. So currently the title is new post. So I will just quickly copy this ID. You need to provide a data field. So which field you're targeting to update? So I'm targeting to update the title. And my new title is and also you can here you can use the select options as well, because Prisma will by default try to return the whole object. So I'm only interested in the title. Console log the result. Title has been updated. So the title which we have provided, it was updated to the title is updated. If I go inside the database as well, the changes will be reflected. So the title has been updated. So this is how you can do the update operation using the Prisma library. And the update menu function is similar to what we used in the create menu. You need to pass where condition, and it will update all the matching fields with that condition. The last operation is the delete operation. So let's try to delete a post. So there are few options that comes with the Prisma for deleting a record from the database. So first one is the delete and delete menu. So we can simply use the delete here, and we can just provide a where condition. Let's copy the ID from the database. So the record was deleted successfully, and the whole object was returned as it is the default behavior of the Prisma. So if we go inside our post table, there would be no records present. So this is how you can do the delete operation. So you can also do the delete menu, but you should always make sure that you are providing a where condition, or else the Prisma will delete all of the records from your database. So you should be very careful whenever using the delete operations using Prisma or any other ORMs. So this is all about the demo here. So I think I have covered mostly how we can do the CRUD operations. So these were the few methods that comes with the Prisma client. And whenever you update the schema, you need to run the Prisma migrate command so that your client would be updated, this client, and you can import this client from the node modules, and you can work with the updated schema. I hope the demo was easy to understand. Over to you, Sanket, now. Thank you, guys.
Yes, thank you, Ron. So first of all, let me share my screen. So yeah, we have completed the demo part. So next, we will see what are the benefits of using Prisma. So, so one of the benefits is the performance. So Prisma utilizes a high performance query engine to optimize database interaction. So leading faster applications. So it has a great performance. Next, it has a seamless integration. So it works with popular frameworks like Express.js, Nest.js, and GraphQL for unified API experience. So it adapts to various databases like Postgres and MySQL and other servers. So it has a seamless integration with all of it. Next, we have an effortless database interaction. So Prisma acts as a bridge between your Node.js application and the databases. So it also provides an type safe. So that's why it makes us effortless to interact with our database. Next, security. So Prisma helps us to prevent common security vulnerabilities by providing a layer of abstraction between your application and the database. Next, one more, we have improved code quality. So Prisma ensures the data integrity with type safety. Then we should write a clean code with Prisma to encourage the best practices and create more maintainable applications. So next we have enhanced developer productivity. So Prisma has an reduced boilerplate code, simpler complex queries, and benefit from it has a benefit from automated migration and schema management. So these are some of the benefits of Prisma, of using Prisma. Next, we'll compare Prisma with other popular ORMs. So first of all, we will see we have a column of feature. Then next we have Prisma, and other two are type ORM and sequelize. So these two are popular ORMs. So philosophically, Prisma says that it has a declarative schema with which focuses on developer productivity. To or type ORM has an high flexibility, and sequelize has active record based pattern ORM is an active or record ORM based pattern. Next, database support. So as we can see, all these ORMs basically support all the databases which are there, but there are some databases, serverless databases, which is supported by Prisma also. Next, learning curve. So for beginners, Prisma is very much easy, as you have seen in the demo part. Next, for type ORM and sequelize, it bit a steeper learning curve. Next, we have query language. So Prisma internally use Prisma query language. Type ORM in type ORM, you can use the raw query or builder functions. Same also in Sequelize, you can use raw query or builder function. So schema definition, Prisma schema definition has a separate from it's a schema will be separate from the code. Type ORM has an decorators of configuration files, and Sequelize has a schema definition of classes. Next, additional features. So Prisma provides an Prisma migration, which makes life easy. Next, it also provides Prisma Studio for visual interface. So it will run locally only. Next, Type ORM provides it has an extensive community support, and Sequelize has a larger plugin ecosystem. So mm, these were the comparison between Prisma and other popular ORM. Lastly, we have a conclusion. So let's summarize the key takeaways of how Prisma streamline our Node.js development. So by leveraging the Prisma features, we have seen how it significantly improve efficiency and maintainability and developer experience with building modern Node.js application. So Prisma core feature functionalities directly address common pain points of the Node.js development. So it empowers developers to spend less time on data plumbing and more time on crafting your innovative features. So the type safety and clear separation of concern offered by Prisma lead to a more robust and maintainable code base. So additionally, the automation features and it focuses on developer experience to contribute to faster development cycles. As your application grows, Prisma's scalable design ensures it can handle increased data loads without sacrificing your performance. So yeah, I hope the presentation has provided the valuable insight into how Prisma can streamline the development. Forward, I would like to tell about the Mindbowser product, Code Grip. So Code Grip is a product to analyze our code. So it makes sure your code quality is excellent, and it automates the code reviewing system. So after every commit and every pull request, it will basically analyze your code, and it will suggest some changes that are best for your project. So it will also find the duplication percent and suggest the solution, and it will reduce the it will reduce the your time, and it has many more features. So yeah, this is what a code grid. So yeah, before moving forward, these are some of the openings we are currently having in our company, Mindbowser. So if if you are available for the this position, you can contact to our HR directly, or you can visit our website. So yeah, thank you for your support. And if any questions, you can contact us at given email IDs. Thank you.